It blows my tiny little mind that the most iconic action actors are not that good at acting. They are famous because of their movies, but they are not iconic because of their acting skills. But what I love about these actors and the whole idea of being iconic is that once they reach critical mass, they get sucked into this black hole we call the internet. And once it takes over and it's the only thing you see, things just escalate uncontrollably. The cosmic cloud-sized mountain of jokes about Chuck Norris and how he's the only one that Stephen Hawking ever stood up for just to shake his hand, or winning Pokemon Go using a landline, and Tom Cruise being iconic for doing his own stunts and for running. But if not for their acting, why are they so iconic when this one looks like he's losing a fight with a stroke in the middle of the conversation, and this one makes movies in an industry he's not even fluent in? It's not like they are part of some Illuminati type group that will pull strings and skyrocket their career. Anyway, let's move on before I get anthrax in the mail. I think the lie I keep blindingly close to my face is that they are from an era where all there was opportunities for new ideas. Anything you did was bold and revolutionary. Boxing, new. Dinosaurs, fantastic. Fighting in a box, truly transcending the golden age of cinema, television, music, Broadway, and STDs. The reason I like this answer, well, because it makes me feel better about myself, pushing away the heavy metal of accountability with little magnets of poor old me. But isn't that something we all believe all the time? These markets are so tapped out and dried up, and the algorithm doesn't like me specifically. I don't want to hear anything about the algorithm. Shut up about the algorithm. I think if you make quality entertainment, you will find an audience. They will watch it religiously. Content is king. You want to know the secret ingredient to the Krabby Patty formula? You have to actually start to get good. Who cares if you have to make little skits in your basement with a phone and a bedsheet, or bomb at a comedy shack? No one is going to focus on you or care if you bomb. No one is going to remember because everyone is so focused on themselves. Just keep swimming, improving. I know some of you want to start loading your magazine and firing off words like luck, and sure, I know there's factors and circumstances outside your control that does impact the opportunities you do have. But are you going to nihilistically relax because of it? A great example is Jackie Chan. He carved out a nice little niche for himself with his ninja stars and karate chops. It took him decades to get there though. He's made over 150 movies. He's had a martial arts mentor for 10 years before he even went on his own to do karate, hapkido, and others I don't want to butcher through my whiter than Paul Walker pronunciation. He's such a skillful fighter that does his own stunts and suffers a ton of injuries, but he keeps on going. It's well documented that he will go the extra mile doing small, time-consuming bits that he'll do over and over and over and over, as much takes as necessary to get those shots that's not even necessary for the plot. It's just so entertaining when he finally nails it. Being in the industry for as long as he has, he picked up a few tips because he's a pretty decent director as well. He knows how to frame and line up the shot for the next scene during a fighting sequence and execute amazing long take action sequences. He doesn't do the Liam Neeson action that has a gajillion cuts just to climb over a fence. He does a proper non-seizure inducing take. He's not overly reliant on his technical abilities. Yeah, he does fantastic action, but he adds a bit of comedy spice. He took both and said, but it's not all fame and fortune though. Years and years of stunts and training and the injuries. Jackie Chan couldn't have been in more accidents if he was driving and female. He's had bone fragments in his brain, blood from the ear, broken bones, dislocations, pulled this, torn that, and he's still working and making movies. I think at this point he agreed to make Rush Hour 4 just to pay for his life insurance. And on the topic of doing your own stunts, did you know that if you spell Jackie Chan backwards, you get Tom Cruise? Because Tom Cruise is right up there. The stunts he still does at 60. I'm not even half his age and I'm thinking, my back. Let's ignore the fact that his movies grossed over 11.5 billion, or that his full name is Thomas Cruise Mapothe IV. That's not what he's going to be iconic for. Not money or that name, but running. Which in itself is ironic because it sounds like everyone else in his life is also running, just away from his personality. There's always rumors, but who knows what's really going on behind the scenes. They're so dramatic, understandably so. They are actors and performers after all. And out of all the actors I'm going to be rambling about, he's arguably the best one. He's been in some truly fantastic movies, and of course, He's not a bad actor by any means, but even at his most pinnacle moment, we still see Tom Cruise. We still see Tommy Boy. We don't replace him in our mind with his character like we do with Heath Ledger and the Joker. Little Jimmy isn't going to watch Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning and ramble in your ear about Ethan Hunt. No, but he will talk about Iron Man and not Robert Downey Jr., probably because Robert Downey Jr. is a mouthful and Downey probably isn't PC anymore. Tom Cruise doing his own stunts at that age and still improving his running with the training he got is the reason he is where he is. He just keeps running. Unfortunately for him, he can't run away from accusations, and there's been a lot of accusations, not only to him, and a lot of them turned out to be true. Tom Cruise losing his mind on set and towards his movie crew.
I don't ever want to see it again, ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone.
Or Jackie Chan being accused of tax evasion and ties to organized crime. He doesn't look like someone that wouldn't pay his taxes or break someone's kneecaps without at least telling him a joke first. Even our Austrian Arnie has apologized for sexual harassment. I wouldn't have them as idols for moral virtues because they've done some dubious things, but I can still learn from the immense success and hard work they have spent essentially their entire lives creating. Arnie, a world famous bodybuilder, probably the most famous ever, got his first role in Hercules in New York because he looks like a condom full of acorns. Of course he gets his own biopic movie, Pumping Iron, which Arnold claims is not about him, but about the bodybuilding field in general.
Was a documentary about explaining bodybuilding. It was not about me.
Sure, which led to his role in Conan the Barbarian, which snowballed to the point where he got paid so much money for simply saying,
"I'll be back."
Then after he conquers Hollywood, he decides to go into politics, and this is an odd one for me. Out of all the far left fields to go into, he goes into the one which feels like everything he shouldn't be doing. Fluent and witty dialogue, strong family principles, a kind of unhealthy pale flabby physique. Well, at least he has the sexual harassment that probably helped him break into the politics, but still, he never lets his muscles atrophy, figuratively of course. Physically, it's not possible to maintain that level. I mean, look at Ronnie Coleman. His joints are so worn out that the only slur you would be able to call him is grow because he doesn't have any knees left. And as if Arnold's own ambitions aren't enough, he gets some healthy competition from Sylvester Stallone, the so-called arch enemy of Arnold. They've always been in this tug of war, copying each other. When Sylvester does Rambo, Arnie does Commando. When this one does Predator, the other does Rambo 3. Total Recall, Demolition Man. True Lies, The Specialist. Even Sylvester on his own is a force of nature. He co-wrote Rocky 1 to 1000, The Expendables and Creed as well, which raises my testosterone to unhealthy levels. I'm glad he did The Expendables just to show everyone he's not a one-trick Italian pony. He's done some other stuff, but let's not go there. Where I think we should go is to the most iconic one of all. Despite this enormous image built around him, Chuck Norris had a rough childhood. His dad was, let's just say that alcohol wasn't the only thing that he liked to knock back, which was a driving force behind Chuck Norris's decisions as he vowed to never be like his father. He headed off to the military, then he blessed the law enforcement industry with his presence, which led to an interest in martial arts as a way to protect himself from the youths and be more effective in his job. He eventually acquired black belts in multiple different disciplines and ended up opening his own chain of martial arts clubs and his own martial arts style. He landed some small acting roles here and there that had very little dialogue, if at all, and eventually his friend Steve McQueen, which was one of his students, suggested that more mainstream action roles would suit him better, which afterwards he landed the trucker action movie Breaker Breaker, cementing his career as the movie made a ton of money. And just look at the cover art for these movies, it kills me every time. I love it so much. These movies and shows were just good action fun. It wasn't trying to be pretentious or have a twist on the action tropes. These are the movies referred to when all people shake their fist and complain that movies aren't made like they used to. He also created his own line of action jeans that made it easier to reach those high kicks. I'm guessing that was high in demand at that time. These actors, love them or hate them, are iconic for good reason. I didn't even discuss all the actors you can throw under this umbrella, like Jason Statham, that was a Commonwealth diver, or Van Damme, that I almost forgot about just because it was a different generation. This was like the movie that would play very late at night when I was a itty bitty toddler waking up after my mom put me to bed and seeing this guy kicking the ever-living bark out of a tree. All these actors were already inherently entertaining and dedicated. They just steamed up their skills with storytelling and throwing it on the silver screen. Just like the inevitable end of all these movies and iconic careers, I've come to the end of this story. I have no smooth way to end this video, so here's the aerodynamics of a cow. Thank you for taking your time to watch my video.